Welcome to our staff, our director, our esteemed guests, our partners, and our patrons, of course. Today, we're here to break ground on the historic Lorain Branch in the Detroit-Shoreway neighborhood. And I was just telling the director today, it'll be nice because I live right down the street to be able to see this step by step. A lot of the other branches that we're making changes to, I have the privilege just to be there every day, but I will be here every day. This is our fifth groundbreaking, a milestone that makes me think back to 2017 when Clevelanders voted to pass a tax levy to support Cleveland Public Library. As part of that library, we made a promise to revitalize our 27 branches to better serve the Cleveland community now and into the future. Today, we make another step forward, fulfilling our promise. A promise to build five-star libraries to match our five-star staff, collections, programs, and services. So, let our celebration begin. And I'd like to invite our director, Felton Thomas, to say a few words. Director?
All right, well, good morning, everyone. Oh, that's kind of weak. All right, let's try that again. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, well, I am Felton Thomas. I'm the Director and CEO of the Cleveland Public Library, and very thankful to have all of you here. So I have a lot of thank yous to give here first and starting for it. I first want to thank, of course, all of you, our patrons who helped support us, voted for this levy to get us to this point. Oh my God, John Guest is here. I have to leave. No. I want to thank our board of trustees. Right here we have, of course, our president, Merced Rodriguez, Secretary Thomas Corrigan, and our newest board member, Ms. Taliange Thomas here. Please give them a round of applause for all they do. I see some of our Cleveland Public Library Foundation board members here. Brian Broaddus is here, Brian, right there. Bob Pincus is here. Thank you, Bob. And Paul Putnam is here. Thank you, Paul. Please give them a round of applause for all they do. We have some city county council guests. County Councilman Martin Sweeney is here. He's going to be speaking a little bit in a little bit. I also, of course, want to thank our library staff, represented by Mrs. Parks, our Chief of Public Services. Mrs. Parks, raise your hand there. Our directors and senior directors of public services. Oh, I forgot to mention that Mrs. Parks is a big Baltimore Ravens fan and they lost. So that's just an inside joke that I felt like I had to make outside joke of. I want to thank the Lorain Branch manager and the staff there. The manager is Crystal Tansick, and Crystal will be talking in a little bit here. Our building and construction partners, HBM Architects, Prime AE Group, I see those folks here, thank you guys, who are helping us to reimagine our libraries. Also, Regency Construction Services and the AKA Group. Thank you guys for everything that you guys have done on this project. Both of those are women-owned firms and will serve as construction managers at risk. Our CDC neighborhood organizations, I see Adam Stalder's here, Executive Director of the Northwest Neighborhoods. Adam, thank you so much for being here with us. And our partners at Matt Zone, Senior Vice President and Director of Thriving Communities at the Western Reserve Land Conservancy is here. Thank you, Matt, wherever you are. Oh, there you go, there you go. So this groundbreaking, it signifies a new vision for us. I know it's really interesting because a lot of times people will come to me and say, what's your favorite branch? And it's kind of like your children, like you don't have a favorite, they're all different and special in their own ways, right? And this building is so special in its own way. One of the things that I have always loved about this building is when I talk to people who grew up in this neighborhood, this library was instrumental in their growth, right? Whether it's council people or just people in the neighborhoods, those who lived here remember the staff members, Mr. Holmesy, who used to be the manager here. They remember them and how they would talk to them and help them. And so this library has a special place in my heart, and it's a special child for me. Now, however, I have to admit that the renovation here that's going to happen in this building is one of my favorites. It is going to make this building look tremendous, and I'm very excited about the work that is going to be done. So before I bring up Councilman Sweeney, I'd like to call up Lorain Branch Manager Crystal Danzig, who's going to introduce the Lorain Branch staff, who do a fantastic job here and who we want to make sure we recognize. Come on.
Thank you, Director Thomas. My name is Crystal Tansek. I am the branch manager here at the Lorain Branch. I want to welcome everyone to the site of the reimagined Lorain Branch. We thank you for being here today to join in on this excitement. We are so thrilled to know that our branch is going to be reimagined into a more modern and user-friendly space. Improvements include a 24-hour lobby with pickup lockers, the addition of small, quiet study rooms, an additional large meeting space, a new ramp and entrance near the parking lot, additional restrooms, and a complete update to the interior. We know many of our dear patrons rely a lot on the services we provide here at our branch, and all of these improvements will help to make your library experience more efficient and enjoyable. I now have the honor of introducing the incredible Lorraine Staff, who help our patrons fulfill their recreational, informational, educational, cultural, health, and social needs. Some were actually able to join us here today, and actually I think we might all be here today. So first we have Adele Santana. If you could just wave. Thank you, Adela. Adela has very close relationships with many of our youth, including the youth at our schools and daycares. She provides story time to them, and she's out and about in our community every single week. Even being away from the branch, she's still out serving our youth. Todd Fagan, who is not here today, he's our library assistant youth emphasis. He's been at Lorain for longer than a decade, and he's been a constant for those in this community. Marley Hooper. Marley, thank you. Marley is our library assistant computer emphasis who uses her creativity and artistic abilities throughout the branch to promote programs and services to our patrons, and she's also the one who fulfills all your 3D printing needs. Vaughn McCarter, branch clerk. Vaughn is known for his extraordinary customer service skills, both over the phone and in person. Andrea Marbley. Andrea is our other branch clerk who has many patrons who ask for her service specifically. Michael Patton. Michael is our branch page who has worked for Lorain for the longest length of time with 14 years of service here at this branch. He not only shelves our materials, but he also helps us with endless projects. And Shakenya Smith, custodian. Shay keeps our grounds clean and safe even while we are closed. So Shay's been holding the building and the grounds down while we're not here. Thanks, Shay. So thank you to the Lorain staff for your hard work and dedication, as well as for your patience during this transition. And thank you to the community for your continued support, and for everyone else today who contributes to the success of this branch. We look forward to all joining together again late next year for the grand reopening of Lorain. Thank you. Thank you. And now I am pleased to introduce Councilman Sweeney. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Director Thomas will be doing that. Thank you.
No, this is not going to be a roast or anything, but I just wanted to take the time to thank the councilman for his support when he was in the House and state legislature, supporting libraries on a consistent basis, voting for us and our PLF and our public library funds, always being a big supporter. And when I first got here, I really didn't know anyone, and he kind of took me in and said, I'll make sure that everybody is like respects you to some degree, right? That was like to some degree. You have to do the other work. So I just want to thank you for all that you have done and all that you've done here for the city of Cleveland and the Cleveland Public Library. And now County Councilman Martin Sweeney.
To our CEO, board members, our Madam Manager of the branch, friends and family, that's my normal opening and it's kind of bland. I just want to thank the CEO. 12 years ago he started and I was council president. He had a big responsibility and everything he has said has come true. And with the Our Future is Building campaign that is paying for this particular improvement, restoration, whatever you want to call it, it is exactly the title it should be. And we pay a lot of taxes, right? A lot of taxes. But I can comfortably say my tax dollars are the best investment that I can make on this particular library system, but this one in particular. I want to give a little shout out to Jenny Spencer, the local council person here. I've been on county council member about 10 months, and I've had the privilege of working with her, and she's just a rock star in the making. So it's cold. We got cookies in the back, and I got a really, I like city council resolutions better. I talked to the branch manager. I said, I'm going to go put it in a glass frame and make it look fancy so she can hang it up. So if you come up here, Director, I'd like to make a slight presentation to you and give you a real frame in the future. This Council of Cuyahoga County takes profound pride and deep personal pleasure in recognizing Cleveland Public Library, Lorain Branch groundbreaking ceremony. There's about 10 whereases, but one kind of jumped out at me, just one sentence. The Lorain Branch was created with funds by Andrew Carnegie in 1912. How cool is that, right? There's not many of them that this is one of the originals. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the County Council in Ohio hereby congratulates the Cleveland Public Library and their extraordinary CEO on their groundbreaking ceremony at the Lorain Branch. Best wishes for a successful event and much success in the future. Given to Martin J. Sweeney for proper presentation. All right.
All right, come over here. Let's get some pictures.
Oh, it's a picture?
Yeah.
And Giovanni is one organized young man. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. One very interesting story about Carnegie that I always feel like I have to tell. Originally, when Andrew Carnegie was building buildings and giving out money, our director at the time, William Brett, was so persistent in getting him money, going after him for money over and over and over again, that one day he finally wrote him a letter and said, I cannot believe I have spent more money on libraries in Cleveland than I have in my own city of Pittsburgh. So that's how we owe a great deal to William Brett. Alrighty. And I'm just trying to work through my notes here. And I believe my job is now to bring up Trustee Corrigan. Please. Now, come on up, Trustee Corrigan. Now, of course, I won't roast Trustee Corrigan because he's my boss. But Trustee Corrigan has been on our board for 36 plus years. And there's no one who's given more to the Cleveland Public Library than Trustee Thomas Corrigan.
Thank you. Thank you, Felton. I'm very, very proud of my association with this library, but I'm particularly proud of today because this Lorain Branch is where my father came. My father was born on Franklin, or his family lived on Franklin, before the Walls branch was opened, and the family then moved to West 116th Street. There was no Eastman branch in those days. This was his branch. For those who look at the building, you can see 1912, the original Andrew Carnegie building is here. There was an addition we did in the 40s, I think. And then when I first came on the board, more than 30 years ago, we redid the roof and fixed some things in the interior, a major redo. So this is at least the fourth time the taxpayers of the city of Cleveland and the Cleveland Public Library have cooperated to make a neighborhood gem continue proudly into the future. Crystal, and to your staff, we know how much this branch means to the neighborhood, but how much it means to you as well. And what a lot of people don't know is the amount of work that went into planning every one of these major renovations and new branches. And quite frankly, the staff put up with quite a bit to make sure that we knew what the neighborhood wanted and that we took their input seriously in making sure we built this branch right. I'm so excited about the 24/7 service that'll be available here, and really we hope a model for many of our other neighborhood branches. In the 1880s, when Andrew Carnegie started his philanthropic effort to help public libraries, it came from some personal history of his that's really not too unusual for a neighborhood like this one. He was a underage, because child labor laws weren't significant, Scottish-American immigrant working as a bobbin boy in a textile mill in Pittsburgh. And when he wanted to go to the library, libraries weren't free. The idea of free public libraries was not a well-established tradition yet in this country. And the subscription was $2. There was no way a bobbin boy could afford those $2. So when he made his fortune in steel and other industries, he decided that free public libraries would be his major mission. Imagine there were actually 1,689 Carnegie-supported libraries built in the United States. 1,689. And the director already stole my favorite story, which is that William Howard Brett was so concerned to make the Cleveland Public Library system the best free public library system in the country that all of a sudden Andrew Carnegie woke up one day and found out he'd helped Cleveland more than Pittsburgh. And that was before there were Cleveland Browns. So, you know, it was significant. I did want to point out that not only is it a personal history for me, a personal history for Andrew Carnegie, but the fact is this library also represents a very significant aspect of the question about how we build cities. For those who don't know, the famous Burt Porter, notorious county engineer and party chairman, actually thought about moving or closing or changing or destroying this branch so that I-90 could be built. Instead, he mostly destroyed about a third of the neighborhood that this branch served. And for many, many months, and actually years, this branch was the outlier, the statement for the people against suburban development and making commuting easier for people who live 40 miles away from Cleveland. And so there's a personal history for me about what this survival and success of this branch means for what it is to be an urban resident, a city of Cleveland person. And that's why I'm so glad my friend Marty Sweeney has gone from years on Cleveland City Council and also to stand up for the Cleveland Public Library at the county. And Marty, I want to extend my personal thanks for all you do for us. You did it in the legislature as well, but to look up at the county council meeting as I was this past week and see somebody who understands. The county library system is the finest suburban system in the country, bar none. Anybody ask you, you can tell them that. But the reality is, we're the finest urban system in the country. And we have a special duty because first we have the tremendous fiduciary responsibility to maintain this wonderful 10 million item collection downtown and the hub of CleveNet, which is the public research library service for literally some 20 counties throughout the region, 47 other library systems that rely on our collection. But the fact is that what we do in our neighborhoods is unique. The fact, when I first went on the board 36 years ago and went to my first national meeting, everybody's always jealous of Ohio because in the days of bipartisanship, Al Benish, the president of the Cleveland School Board, a Democrat, and Bob Taft, Mr. Republican, United States Senator, the guy who lost to Eisenhower in '52 for the nomination, they basically said public libraries shouldn't have to compete in the biennial budget every year. And they created the Library Local Government Fund, and literally we had a separate tax allocated to libraries, which built Ohio libraries into the greatest in the country. But when I first started going to meetings, national meetings, everybody was jealous of what we were able to spend. Now what's happened in the state, not just under Republicans, but mostly under them, the state share of what pays for library service has changed from close to 60% formula to down in the 30% category. So the support of our voters, the support of our users is more critical than ever. And so this redo in this branch, and we're literally touching every branch, is a thank you for the support that we've gotten from those voters all these years. And finally, I want to tell you how much I'm looking forward to the next ceremony on this site when we reopen this branch. And I hope you'll all be there. I hope you'll help us along the way to keep service going. I want to thank the staff as well for making sure the neighbors know that we still have a branch nearby and we'll keep serving the best we can. And without further ado, I want to turn the program over to John Lang. One more thing. Let me just also, I wanted to do another thank you too, and that is, for those who don't know, I'm in the Walls Branch neighborhood. I live north of here now, but and the County Councilman Sweeney already thanked Jenny Spencer, who couldn't be here. But I want to say a special thanks to Matt Zone as well, who's now moved on to the NGO world, but who was really critical to everything we did, both at Walls Branch and this branch, as we were doing the planning over these past few years. So thanks again, Matt. Without further ado, I'll give you back to the director.
Thank you, Trustee Corrigan. So I missed one person I was supposed to bring up here, but it's not a disrespect there, Mr. Stadler. Adam, would you come on up? Northwest Neighborhoods, CDC. Adam Stalder is going to give us some comments.
Thanks, everyone. I'm here speaking on behalf of Councilmember Jenny Spencer. She unfortunately couldn't be here today, but she wanted to send along her deepest gratitude to Cleveland Public Library for their investment in and dedication to Ward 15. And on behalf of the residents of Detroit-Shoreway and Cadell, we'd like to thank Cleveland Public Library for making this excellent investment in our community. You know, this library isn't just a place to check out books. It's a community resource. It's a community hub. It's a third space for our youth, and it is extremely important to our community. And this investment will make sure that it stays that way long into the future. So thank you again.
Thank you, Adam, and please tell Councilwoman Spencer we're very appreciative of all of her support that she's given over the past and months since she's been in office, so we appreciate it. Right now we have our last speaker, Mr. John Lang, who is going to give an overview of what's going to happen in the building, and a big thank you to all of our construction folks and all that they've done there. I cannot be more appreciative of John Lang. We are working on and going to renovate all 27 buildings, right? And that is all happening all at the same time. So how you're juggling all of that, I don't know, but just keep doing it, right? So come on up, John.
Thanks, Director. Good morning, everybody. So how we do it, how we juggle everything is through partnerships. And so really this morning, we've heard a lot from the trustee and our speakers about the historic nature of this building. It's celebrating its 110th birthday this year. It's one of the original Carnegie buildings in the system, and it's really a treasure of the community, and we're so glad to be following up on some of the exterior renovations we did a few years ago and to do a full reimagining of the branch. And so, as I said, we do that through partnerships. We select partners who recognize, like we do, the importance of a library and the ability of a library to uplift the neighborhood, and the ability of good design and good construction to support that building, to support the community. And so I know the director already acknowledged them, but I do want to recognize the team members we selected for this project. We're so happy to be with them. That's HBM Architecture, represented this morning by Principal Kevin Kennedy. There's Kevin. Consulting engineers are Prime AE. Dana Mitchell's with us this morning. And then on the construction side, as the director indicated, 2 women-owned businesses led by Regency Construction, represented by firm president Terry Rivera and project manager Janelle Hinkle. And the AKA team represented by Ariane Kirkpatrick. So just a few notes for highlights of this specific project. As the director said, we're going to reimagine all 27 branches throughout the system. The Lorain project is going to renovate and expand this historic Carnegie building. It's going to modernize all building systems, improving efficiency and sustainability into the future. It's going to reorient the branch. We heard about how the 90 cut the branch off from the community, so we're going to reorient it, and you can see in the architectural renderings, towards the community and the patrons that we serve. We are going to provide increased community gathering spaces. And I just want to mention also, I mentioned HBM as the architect on this project. Those of you who have been to our South Branch over in Tremont have seen the renovations we did before this capital plan several years ago. That's an HBM design, really another fine example of a modern expansion onto a historic Carnegie building. I looked up what the Plain Dealer said at the time the South Branch was reopened. They called it a light-filled jewel box. And I have every confidence that we're going to achieve the same success with the Lorain Branch, and look forward to seeing many of you back here in 2022 when we reopen the building.